Hello everyone, I'm Marian and this will be quite a short video, but if you're a beginner, this will be a lifesaver because we will fast track hours, days, even months of progress in just a little couple of drills. So what you want to do is to just open the centripetal track if you're on iracing. If you're not on iracing, any track will work, it will take you a little bit more time. And what I want you to do is to pick a lane and then just brake and hold the brake pressure applied, like this, without increasing the steering. And you will notice that the car turns a lot, it even spins. All I had to do is to just hold constant pressure. And this is called turning the car with our brakes, not with the steering. We're getting all the rotation from the brake itself, so we're inducing oversteer by just holding the brake pressure applied. But there's a twist to this. Look what happens if I do the same thing, but brake a little bit more aggressively initially. You notice how much rotation I got early on? A lot more, because if I'm maintaining the brake pressure applied constantly, the car yes rotates, but it rotates at a constant speed, let's say. But if I'm more aggressive initially with the brake touch, I can get a lot more rotation early on. So I'm inducing oversteer with a different speed now. And if you're not sure how to measure the speed, just look at the horizon line, at the scenery, and you will notice that when you're pressing the brakes a bit harder, the scenery will move with more speed versus when you're just holding that constant pressure. So what's better, getting that constant rotation or being a little bit more aggressive on the brakes and getting more rotation early on? Obviously, it sounds like the second option is a bit more tempting, but there's one big problem with it. If I spike the brakes hard initially, yes, the car rotates more, but then it will rotate less. So I get more rotation early on because I shift a lot more weight on the front end of the car, the rear gets looser, the car rotates more initially, but because the front tires will quickly go past the grip limit, the car will start to shift the balance from oversteer to understeer, meaning that yes, we get more rotation early on, but we get less overall rotation as the car will start to turn less. So even though we get more speed initially, in the big scheme of things, if it's a long corner, it won't work because we will lose that rotation mid-corner, so to speak. So this is the big problem of getting the rotation early on, and there's a way to fix it. But to make a summary, if you want the car to turn, keep the brakes engaged and the car will turn. If you want the car to turn a little bit quicker initially, press the brakes a little bit harder and the car will turn more instantly. But beware that if you're maintaining that pressure, you might go from oversteer to understeer quite quickly. And to solve the issue of losing rotation, even though initially you are getting quite a big amount of rotation, we have to dance between oversteer and understeer all the way throughout the duration of the corner. The subtle thing and the pain point for many drivers is that they know they can induce rotation by holding the brake pressure applied. But there will be a point where this pressure that I'm holding right now will be too much for the front tires to handle. So even though I'm holding the brakes, I will induce understeer at some point. Even though initially I'm getting oversteer from it, there will be a point where this pressure will be too much and we get from oversteer to understeer. And when that happens, all I have to do in order to generate rotation, it's counterintuitively, but I have to drop a little bit the pressure, like this. And the front end will get a little bit of air to breathe. And you have to know that it's impossible to make a car loose if the car is already understeering. So we need to make the front tires be in a state of what I call the front tires alive, keeping the front tires alive, if you've been following my course. And we do this by releasing the brakes. We release the brakes and then the car can start to rotate again. So it's quite tricky because it's the complete opposite of what we discussed in the beginning, but this will happen. This is a real case scenario. And by the way, guys, if you find this useful, use that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. It helps me a lot. But now I want you to show this in real time and let's do it like a drill together. So the goal will be to get that extra quick rotation early on by pushing the brakes a bit harder, but then to release a little bit quicker once we feel that the force feedback gets lighter. So once we feel the understeer in the steering wheel, release the brakes more and you will get more rotation with the brake release. However, when you're releasing the brakes, the car will get more speed and it's possible that you will get to understeer. So at that point, we have to induce oversteer. It's like a cycle. We go from oversteer to oversteer again, maybe understeer again. So we have to dance with our brake pressure in such a way that the car gets the maximum amount of rotation. It's almost like a little staircase, as you can notice. You're going up and down with the brake pressure, you're feeling the force feedback, you're not increasing the steering more, even though there will be the case that if you increase just a little bit, when you're not at the limit with the front tire, you can even get more rotation. But all in all, this is the main idea. I hope this was helpful, guys, and I hope that this will at least spark some interesting discussions in the comment section. I will be answering the questions. And if you feel like I missed something, just let me know. And thank you for all the support recently. It really means the world to me. I love doing videos and I feel like I'm rewarded for doing those because I see so many comments. I see that you're enjoying it, and I'm honestly doing it because I love seeing people that are enjoying my stuff. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye bye.